G'day and hello beautiful people, it is Mimo here and I am back for some more Walking Dead Road to Survival talk, and it's all about the epics in Ascendance once again. And I want to talk a bit about the best epics in Ascendance videos that I released a few days ago, because it is the reason why I'm coming at you now with this video. Now basically when I was ranking those players, I was very hesitant to actually do that video because I don't like ranking and rating players just purely because opinions do vary, and that is based on numerous factors including your region, your experience, and most importantly your roster, with what you're missing and what you're looking for and what you value more and all those sorts of things. So opinions always do vary, and that's why I've really never been into that ranking of characters, but I thought I would give it a go. And basically I was probably a bit rushed with it because I didn't have all the information on the characters, which led to decisions and people being ranked in the top 3 that I now, knowing the information and the gaps in the information I had, wouldn't actually put them in there. But that's how it goes. I don't think I was too far off the mark with most of the rankings, but there were some characters that should have been in there that weren't in there just purely because I didn't know their information. And most importantly, I didn't know some of the AP of the characters, and the rushes are one of the most important aspects in the games. And if you don't know the AP, you can have a great rush, but if you don't know the AP, it could be 106 AP slow and just be next to useless in the raid environment. So you don't really know how to rank their AP and rank that character if you don't know the AP of their adrenaline rush, which is why some characters that should have been in the top 3 were not in the top 3. Some characters that should have been mentioned were not mentioned because I didn't have all the information. So that was my bad, but I don't think I was too far off the mark with most of the ranking. Like, I look back now and there's a few characters I would put in there and I would take out and change it up a bit. But for the most part, I think the top positions went to the right players. And, you know, I had a few opinions, varying opinions on players that were very tough, I think, in my own mind, because some characters have really average stats, but if you use them in the right environments, they can be quite a handful. For example, Negan, I use him as a multi-hitter with a lot of attack boosters, and he wipes out teams, and that's what I mean. I have all that available to me. For someone that's possibly trying to make him viable for a raid scenario and you don't have enough boosters, or you just don't have enough for the team that he should be surrounded by, then you probably will struggle with making those sorts of characters useful. But for me, I have the right characters around him and have the right characters available to me. You think of Samurai Jesus' lead, I have Survival Road Ezekiel's boost, I also have people at down defense in Prestige, Michonne, Victor. So I have the right players surrounding him that makes him really hit hard and very useful in the game. And that's what I mean. You can have a very hardline opinion and think a character is absolutely useless, but there are players out there that will find a use for them just because they have the right characters and the right combos that actually go along with them and really complement them quite well. So, you know, you're more than welcome to have your opinion like that, and I do try to sort of give you a counter argument and give you reasonings why I did certain things, which you sort of missed out in that video because I was trying not to make it a long ass video by explaining every single process of the decision making. But there were reasonings why I've done certain things, and if you question them, I do give you a rundown of why I've done certain things. But like I said, there are characters in there I wouldn't want to put in there now knowing all the information, and there's characters that I would want to put in there. I will definitely do a revise later on when new characters do come in, but I did want to discuss that just straight up because it is the reason for this video. And the reason why I want to talk about the quality of 5 stars available is, like I said, I've got a lot of opinions in there, and I think what everyone neglects to actually see with the epics in Ascendance is they're fairly average. The majority of epics in Ascendance are fairly average, and some of them are fairly horrible. They're some of the worst epics in the game. So I don't think it's really what we all hoped for when they were bringing out this Ascendance model, was that would get such average plays. And in saying that, there are some decent ones out there. You know, you think you've got a shield in there, you can't go wrong with a shield. That will always be a highly, you know, valued specialist skill in the game, and Lee has stood the test of time. He is still a really good shield, but if you think about it in that sense, he's still a really average shield, and that sounds really bad saying an average shield, but he is an average shield. He's not a shield like Conrad, Magna that you can put absolute defense on. He's not the Michonne, the yellow Michonne that you can put absolute defense on. So he's not that quality. You know, he is an older shield. He's one of the very first shields released in the game, so he is definitely an older shield. But he still has great value if you use him correctly, and he is still a great shield if you don't actually have a shield. You know, he's a green shield. You can put stun on him and make him quite a handful. He is still a great character, though in saying that, he's still fairly average. And that's what I mean. Even average characters can be used efficiently, and they can be used effectively if you set them up the right way and you actually recognize their weaknesses. You can then counteract that weakness and strengthen them a bit, which is what I'm trying to get at. You have Ben once again, and most of these characters in Ascendance have been handed out in numerous, not only tournaments, but aspects of the game. You think about the elite tokens, the guaranteed 5 stars, the training grounds. A lot of these characters have been handed out in numerous aspects of the game, so it's not like they're new to the palette in regards to you can get them from aspects of the game that don't cost you money, because they've been around for quite a while. That doesn't mean that they're not still effective, and I know in a way I'm probably being a bit tough with saying they're fairly average, but that is the truth. They are fairly average, but they are still decent tunes for the most part that can be used effectively, not only in raids but also your farming and all aspects of the game. You just got to know how to use them, and you got to want to use them. Just don't get this very closed mind that a character is useless and can't be used, because let's be honest, none of these characters in there are your Carolines, the Christas, and you know, that's going bottom of the barrel, some of the worst epics. And even in a way, those characters can be used, even though not many people would use them. I wouldn't recommend using them, but they can be used if you want to use them enough. You can find a team that will actually use them in the most effective way they can be used. But that's what I was trying to get at, I think, in all the ranking thing when it comes to everyone criticising, which I'm more than happy for people to criticise. Like I said, opinions will vary. And that's what I want to sort of chat about in this video, was that there are bottom of the barrel epics in there, and then there are more decent ones, but they all are overall fairly average. You know, you think of the top ranking players from every category, your Timothys, your Lees, your Bens, your Jasons, which is a new character. They're all fairly average characters, though they can offer you really nice attributes in maybe one department. You know, Jason's leader skill, you got Ben's leader skill is great, his rush is pretty stand up as well, and then you got Lees who is the shield. You got Timothy who does the double line hitting there with a fairly nice damage rate. So you can always find nice attributes in all of these characters, but they're not your OP premier big recruits, new tunes coming out, and they never really will be in Ascendance. Scopely are not really going to give out their best top of the line epics in this sort of model. They're always going to be sort of the lower line, more average epics, which isn't bad, because like I said, some of these epics can come in really great value to your roster depending on what roster setup you had and what you got missing from your roster. So there's not too much you can get disappointed, definitely, and I think this Ascendance model will lead to a lot of disappointment. Like I said, there are more bottom of the barrel repeat offender epics that you have probably got numerous of already in your roster. So it's going to lead to a lot of disappointment. You might get some of the newer tunes which you think, you know, well, a new tune, but they're not that great of quality. They have little aspects here and there of them that are actually great. But that's okay. You're going to get a lot of duplicates, which in the end isn't overly that bad, because if you think about it in the way that it can be used to ascend your 5 stars to your 6 stars, if you've got no attachment to that epic and no need for them in your roster, then you're more likely to be able to give them away freely when it comes to upgrading to the 6 stars. So all in all, it's a pretty good way to think of it. Even though you may be disappointed, there's always other aspects you can go with the epics, and just keep on trying if you want a particular epic within the Ascendance model. I think we can all agree with reality slapping us in the face. There's going to be a lot of disappointment when it comes to Ascendance, and that's the rationale throughout the game. With the good comes the bad with the good, vice versa. There's always going to be that aspect of disappointment, and that's just the systematic nature of this game. But what I'm trying to get across is that even though in that disappointment, every character has a value and has a purpose, whether you repurpose them for a raid team, a farming team, or you use them to get you to that 6-star, that legendary status, they all have a purpose and can come in handy and can help advance not only your game, your roster, but also your teams within the raiding environment. So they are all helpful. No matter how bad they are, no matter how useless a character is, you can use them within the game and help achieve a higher status within the game. And like I said, at the very least, just see them for what they are, and that's a chance that you get into the 6-star. So you may feel disappointed now, but in future recurrences, when you're collecting that legendary, just remember, in that moment when you felt all that disappointment, all that annoyance, that is what's now getting you this happy moment, that 6-star character. But as always, I hope you did enjoy. If you have any questions, comment below, and thank you for watching.